Felt's imprisonment life, one as soon as I woke up. The first thing I felt was a softness throughout my body that I had never felt. Nga! Without understanding anything, I raised my body while scratching my head. My eyesight was still a little blurry, but I saw a pillow all soaked with drool. Well, I think it was a pillow. I had never seen one so soft, but it should be. Looking around, I soon realized that I was on top of a huge bed with my body covered by a smooth sheet. Where am I? Being in a room and on a bed that had nothing to do with a brat who grew up in the slum, my first thought was whether this was not a dream. For me, mornings started on an old couch, a shabby blanket and an unpleasant smell in the air. It is true that I have the goal of one day leaving this life, but I did not want to see it come true in a dream. Is that what I really wish deep inside? What a weird dream. Looks like you woke up. I was terrified when I heard someone else's voice, and when I turned around, he was standing by the door. He was the red-haired bastard. At the same time, I tried to get the knife from my waist, but it was this time that I realized that I was naked, with only the sheet covering my body. If you are concerned about your clothes, they are being washed and restored. The servants will already bring temporary clothes. Wait just a little while longer. Wait a minute. Yes, I wasn't in the mood to listen to the bullshit of the tall, blue-eyed redhead who was standing in the doorway. I didn't like it that he obeyed me right away, but I let it go. Screw my clothes for now because there are more urgent things to be dealt with. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? I have some guesses, but I lack conviction. If you can tell me, seeing me staring at him ugly, that damn redhead, one of the most famous guys in the capital. Sword Saint, Reinhard just shrugged. I got angry at his reaction and screamed. Where am I? And what do you intend to bring me here after leaving me unconscious? Because of the scream and my agitation, the sheet almost fell off my body, and I had to hold it at the last minute. Only that made the bastard chuckle, and I was even more irritated. I apologize for my insolence. Please allow me to explain the reason that led me to do what I did to you, in the minimum details. That's what he said after making a serious face and kneeling, while punching me with his blue eyes. Sitting with my legs spread on the bed and my body covered with only a sheet, I popped my tongue in anger. I don't like the idea of having to play his game, but it's no use complaining without knowing anything. Okay, you can tell me why a noble knight abducted me and kept me naked in captivity. Yes, I will be as honest as possible to end the misunderstanding. With a smile on his face, he reached into his shorts pocket. Unlike the time I saw him in the slum, he now wore only a basic t-shirt, shorts, and jacket. In fact, I had never seen anyone look so well dressed just like that. What anger. Firstly, this residence, located in the upper part of the capital, belongs to the Astria family. We don't use it very often, and I apologize for forcing you to stay in such a tight room. Was that ironic? About 10 of my tents could fit in this room. Of course he didn't mean it, and he didn't want to be insensitive, but I frowned anyway. Then he apologized and took something out of his pocket. I think you remember this here, he said, showing me the object. Isn't it the badge I had stolen? Technically, no. The badge that you know is currently back in the hands of Miss Amelia. This one is another, but of the same type. Now that he spoke, the color of the jewel in the dragon's mouth was really different from what I remembered. What I tried to steal was red, this one was green. And what about it? I don't need it at this point anymore. Please take it in your hands and you will understand. I wanted to respond with a "I'll understand what," but I kept quiet. Not only because Reinhard's stare sort of intimidated me, but it was because I had already taken the badge from his hand without thinking. At that time, I saw that the green stone started to shine. Done, what's up? He's just shining and I still don't understand anything. The just be shining is the most important part. As you can see, the stone did not emanate any light while it was in my hand, and it had not emanated from anyone, with the exception of very few, including you. Chosen for this stone. I laughed because I thought it was ridiculous that he was doing all that just because of a shiny stone, but the bastard just approached his face without changing his expression and replied, "No, it wasn't for the stone. The lady was chosen by the dragon or perhaps by fate. Fate, ha, it was just what I lacked." And here I thought he was going to say something that was serious. "Listen here, Reinhard. Fate is the magic word that people who give up on anything love to use. Life should be easy for those who believe in fate, since the culprit of everything will always be him, right? But look here, I don't need it. To hell with fate. I'm not going to be following impositions that I don't even see. I don't know why you're all happy there, but don't get me into this. I'm tired of seeing people who like to run away using fate as an excuse to give up. The lack of strength, intelligence, money, and dreams is all his fault. If fate only serves to cover up weaknesses, I don't need it. I am the only one responsible for my life. All Reinhard did was look at me with a serious face. Until, a while later, he opened his mouth again. Miss felt not everyone can go against fate. Only a selected handful of people, possessing qualification, determination, and means, are able to oppose him. Shut up, I'm not here to be debating with you. So what if that little stone shines? End of conversation. I'm going to go back to my tent, give me back my clothes. Nor do I have the courage to hang around naked, and that outfit was a gift from Grandpa Rome I couldn't leave behind. Unfortunately, I cannot fulfill your request. The one who makes the dragon ball shine has the duty to introduce herself to the castle. As a citizen of the kingdom, you will have to obey. Ah, get screwed, citizen of the kingdom. And when did the kingdom do anything for me? As miserable as your condition was, if you live in the capital, you receive the protections of the kingdom directly and indirectly. I will not allow you to deny them. It's not like I live here by choice, is it? I just don't leave the city for lack of money, but now I got enough. So let me out of here. I can't, please give up. My patience had reached the limit with this conversation that was not going to get anywhere. Reinhard continued with his usual calm face, while I started to get out of control. So I pulled my hair hard, took a deep breath, and tried to calm myself down. All right, I'm going to think calmly about what you're talking about. In return, I have a request to make. May I help? However, you will have to stay in this house until we have an official response from the castle. Any other request I am willing to answer. I just want my clothes back. Until when will you make me stay naked? Huh, noble knight? I spoke with a tone full of irony and saw Reinhard's eyes widen a little. Then he apologized and turned his back on me. I'll call the maid. I believe your clothes are Rhea. Bye, sucker. I took advantage of Reinhard's hesitation and threw the pillow on the back of his neck. And looking at him, I jumped out of bed at the same time and ran. When I looked out of the corner of my eye, he had grabbed the pillow with his hand, but I didn't intend to stop. Ha! I pulled the sheet off the bed and threw it in a way that it would open, hiding both him from my view and me from him. Now, yes, it was the perfect opportunity to get past him and escape through the door. But that would be an amateur thing. Until nevermore. What I did was jump back and open the window by force, holding myself tightly on the curtain. From what I checked while talking sitting, the room was at most 1 floor high, which would be a safe height for me to cushion the fall with the curtain and run out after landing. And that was when I was sure of the escape. What? The curtain that was supposed to hold my weight was cut by the part connected to the window. The worst thing is that the cut was so straight that even with a sword it would not be so easy to leave it that way. But Reinhard only had an open hand, implying that it was with her that he had cut it. You monster. It's the second time I've been called that in the past 2 days. As he spoke, he passed by me after jumping out of the window. But as he gained speed, running through the wall, he reached the floor before me and caught me with a pillow. Excuse me. In this, the sheet that covered my body wrapped itself around me as if it were a dress, and now I was there like a little princess in the bastard's arms. I'm angry. My fault in not having presented the house, but we have stairs that connect the floors. Learn to speak ironies, huh? Get me on the floor. Until when will you be holding me naked? I even tried to get rid of him, but Reinhard just waved his arms and balanced me anyway, making it clear that he had no intention of letting go. If you are able to escape this house, I will give up. However, I warn you that the servants and I will try to prevent it at all costs. Oops, word of night, huh? No going back later. If I can get away, you won't bother me anymore. I pointed a finger at his face and made him promise. After he agreed with his head looking into my eyes, he turned his face towards the house and said, Apparently, the servants noticed the mess. Let's go back to the room. See if you carry me carefully, noble knight. 3, we were greeted by an elderly couple when we arrived at the room. According to Reinhard, they were the ones who took care of the house. That is, I would only need to run away from 3 people. It would be easy, just arriving at night, and I was going to get out of this house. Hey, listen. May I help? It looks great on you, miss. For a change, I was irritated, and Reinhard continued with his damn little smile. Beside him was a grandmother with a harmless smile holding a bunch of dresses in all colors. And one of them, a yellow color, was the one that covered my body. Where's my clothes? It is properly stored. While in this house, please wear the clothes we have here. Stay calm, we bought enough for more than a month. You bastard, I swear I will run away, can you hear me? I swear. I only know that with my scream it certainly echoed throughout the mansion.